So I saw this question and I thought it was a very important question. It was a question that was asking, how do I date without shrinking myself? Number one, I've been speaking recently about the importance of shifting away from emotions led relationship to systems, structures, and spirited field and led relationship. A lot of times, the way to step into a relationship without having to shrink yourself is to be in your space of authenticity. And I know that this question about shrinking of self is not about maybe shrinking your personality or anything like that. It has to do with maybe the wealth you have built and so on and so forth. The first thing is to be authentic. Be authentic without being pompous. Sometimes some people, maybe because of the circle that they are in, have gotten pompous and prideful, and they have gotten proud, and they now also act proud, but they are not aware of it. And that is why you have to have people in your circle. Perhaps you need to get a therapist that you work with week in, week out, to help you to see these blind spots that maybe people around you are not talking to you about. You know, there are some people, they only sing your praises, but they don't tell you, hey, you speak proud or you are rude. So you do not need to shrink yourself if you do not have these excesses. And if you have these excesses, because nobody is perfect, there are things that can be worked on. That is number one. You have to lean into your authenticity. And for this to not sound like big English, you have to sit into understanding who you are outside of the things that you are. One of the biggest things that I find is that a lot of people have been immersed into what they have to cover up who they think they are. So like there's a difference between who you are and what you have. Who you are has helped to birth what you have. But what you have is not who you are. You understand? Who you are have helped to birth what you have. But what you have is not who you are. Does that make sense? So a lot of times people mix it up. They mix up what they have with who they are, and it's a beautiful thing to have built what you have built. You are who you say you are, like they say. You are who you say you are who you think you are. But the things you have built are not who you are. At the very core, there's the who you are, who is, to me, is even better and greater than the things that you have built. But a lot of times, because the things people have built are beautiful, magnificent, so they camp there, make their life and identity all about what they have built, and they refuse to move, like they refuse to then grow into who they are originally. And so for me, not shrinking yourself, I'm a bit distracted, as you can see, because yeah, where I'm recording is not necessarily a quiet place, but we'll make it through. I just wanted to record, in a different background for your good pleasure. So as I was saying, shrinking yourself comes when you have all these excesses. As a matter of fact, honestly, if you can train yourself to be a person who doesn't glory in the things she has accomplished, I'm not saying not being proud of it or not talking about it. It's two different things. So I'm not saying, oh, now be like, don't worry, it's just a small thing we built. But I'm saying that making your life all about it, making that now becomes your identity. They are two different things. So it takes training, anyways. If you are your authentic self, you are who you are. You are who you are, with the accomplishments, with the things you built, with the ranks that you've risen to. You are who you are. And I know that this question of shrinking again, I needed to address that because there's all of this. Oh, I have all of this thing. So should I lie? I mean, no, you shouldn't. Because a person who is then now unable to connect with your authentic self, if you are able to master how to open up your authentic self, then the person is not for you. Sometimes people are not really revealing their authentic selves. They are revealing their pompous self, their prideful self. They're revealing every other part of them that has not to do with authenticity. It's almost as if all these things that they have created, which is not even the best of who you are yet. I mean, can you imagine if God has created this with you? Can you imagine how much more you can create? But they are already buried in it. They are already buried in it because they just think, well, this is the best to come, or people now respect me. There are all of these external factors, and so therefore you are tagging yourself primarily as a CEO, which you are, but that's not all there is to you. Yes, you are CEO is a part of the things that your authenticity, your identity, your calling has helped you to become. But for instance, that's not your name, as an example. And so you don't need to shrink from your authentic self if you connect a person with your authentic self. But please be very careful. You need to find, if you don't know this authentic self that we're discussing, you've got to learn. Maybe come into a session with me, or I recommend coming into a session with me to be able to figure it out, so that you don't go around thinking that you are revealing your authentic self, but you are really not revealing your authentic self. Does that make sense? So once you do that, you share all about you. If the person is still feeling, if the person is still feeling intimidated by the things that you have, that is a them problem. Not is a them problem, it's not a you problem at all. Because what you have is what you have, and you cannot, so but there's a way to say it, but at the same time, what you have is what you have. Like, you cannot unhave what you have. So one of the biggest mistakes, as I close, is that a lot of times a lot of women think that the kind of men that can handle them are the men that they meet at their events, at board meetings, the men that they meet at these big glorious events. But a lot of those times, a lot of those men as well are covering up things, are covering up identity issues with all of those bogus titles, and they do not have and have not built, at least at this time, the capacity to be able to carry what it is that you have and lead you. You've got to understand too that a man who can lead you will not necessarily be found in one of the places that you think you're going to find him. It's true. And that's one of the biggest things. So you see women who saying, oh, I dated this guy, we were good together on paper, but this is how, yeah. Because he wore a suit and is carrying a big briefcase and is the CEO of one company, doesn't have it, doesn't mean he has the capacity to lead you. And that's why I was speaking about a man's CV. There's a video I have on this channel about a man's life CV and all that. And it all came from this: which kind of man should we be looking at that can lead us as successful women? They are not men who you think sometimes should be leading you. They are sometimes are men who you're not even thinking about. Yeah, sometimes they are. They are men that you're not even thinking about, because it's not the built muscles and it's not the gym routine and all those things are good, they're for personal benefits, but those are not the things that are necessarily going to be needed and necessary. They're not going to be needed and necessary during the rainy days, when you really need leadership over the global conglomerate that you're leading, or the global church you're leading. Like, you just need more than a man's fine looks and what he carries and how he carries himself, like himself rather. Those are not, like, it's just the features that a lot of women use to pick a man who should marry them or should be in a relationship with them, is part of the problem. Yeah, it's just part of the problem. And you have got to start thinking and choosing differently. So if you are dealing with this and you clicked on this video on how can I make things work, how can I be in a relationship and thrive without shrinking myself, you need to watch the video on live CV. You do. You need to watch the video on the live CV and pick important things from it, so that you can then now use it as your prerequisite for attracting a man. Another thing I must close out with: there's a high likelihood, especially if you're a very successful woman, let me just say it ahead of time, that your husband is not going to be richer than you. We've got to get up and stand up from this delusion world. A lot of women rather, who are very wealthy and very famous and all, they sometimes are waiting for a man more famous or as famous as them. Smell the coffee, or how do they say it? Like, girl, remove your glasses. How many percentage of people do you think are in the world? How many percentage of people do you think are more successful than you, depending on your current level of success? Let's move away from delusion land now. Let's be realistic about what we are talking about. Let's be realistic. Like, what are we saying? What are we saying? Like, you want a man that has more, because when people say more successful, they're meaning it has more money, it matches my net worth, it matches. That's not who you need. That's not what you need. You just need a man that can lead and can move your family, can grow your family, can groom your family, your children, if you want children, can move you from point A to point B, motivate you. But you see, in the 21st century, things have changed. We're no longer in the man must be richer than the woman era. That's another thing you've got to understand. The times have changed. So stop going around looking for a man that is richer than you, is more popular than you. Like, I don't understand. Are you not smelling the coffee, like they say? Are you not reading the room? How many people are? In fact, we have a lot of women favored initiative now. Women growing in the. I know that there are still statistics that say, oh, there are some men still dominating, but we have a lot of women things. So with the growth of the women things, how many men do you think that they're not married men there? How many men are getting those positions, and how many men are being led by women? You to do the math. By the time you do the math and you do the calculation, maybe apart from the military base where a lot of men are still leading, but we have a lot of women involvement. So do the math. If there are women leading in a lot more companies right now because they're given the opportunity to, and maybe okay, politics is still a place that's still male dominated, but if in many other places and spaces, there are a lot of women still. So there are a lot of women currently leading. And of course, if you are leading higher than others, then you earn more. How do the men want to come and be richer than you? So I'm not saying that, oh, have a small mindset, because any small thing now, especially when you're explaining to Nigerians and Africans, you have to be explaining and explaining and explaining. Nobody says you should have a small mindset, but I'm saying your goal is not, you have no business saying, I want somebody who is richer than me. I mean, depending on your worth or your net worth, or depending. Because let me tell you something that you probably know, but you refuse to admit. A lot of the men up there who are sane, who are reasonable, not wife beaters and all these men that are not okay, up there who are able to lead and who have the more money and all that. If it's not that some of them are already married, it is that for some of them, let me just tell you, they are not looking to get married to women in the limelight. I have to tell you the truth. I have a video where I interviewed 10 men across different continents, and even outside of that video, I've continued to speak to men because of the work that I do. This is what they are saying. A lot of them, because they're in the limelight, they do not want to get married. And it's not about ego or intimidation. They just don't want it. A lot of times they have seen chaos. They have seen chaos from two people being in the limelight. Let's say, for instance, maybe they are both actors and actresses. So both of them are busy, both of them are on set, both of them are this. So nobody has any space for anybody. Nobody has the space to man the home. Nobody has the space. Like, nobody has the space for any other thing. Nobody can even tell the other person that, you stay, please, or will you be at home with the children today? Oh, I am traveling. Because the other party person too is traveling to be on set. So a lot of people like that who are successful and have got into that space, they they are not looking for busy successful women in the limelight, and that's why we are probably also experiencing this high level of. So a lot of the people who you are thinking as a successful single woman that, oh, why can't I get married to this person, they're not necessarily looking for. They're not looking to get married to people in the limelight, and they have their preferences. I've spoken a bit about this. So it is very important. By the way, I'm posting the video because I have to speak to and attend to other people. So it is very important that you do not just get locked in, because those men have their preferences and you are who you are. That's one thing I've started to help successful single women understand. You cannot kill yourself if a man says he does not want your caliber and your kind of woman. That's okay. And it's not a bitter thing. It's not a thing to start being annoyed about that. Do you know what I can offer him? It's not do or die. The same way you too, you have some men you never want to date. It's the same way him too. He has the right. He also has the right to say that he does not want a certain kind of woman. And a lot of times it's because of experiences. They've seen their close colleague get married to them, and they're just not able to stabilize things. So it takes a lot of wisdom. It takes a lot of wisdom to be able to stabilize. It takes a lot of wisdom to be able to stabilize a relationship. That it takes a lot to be able to stabilize a lot of a relationship. At this point I'm supposed to close this video, but it takes a lot anyways for the men to make this decision that they are choosing a certain kind of women because of the things that they have experienced. So for you as well, you have got to upgrade your mindset and be just the way we spoke about authenticity at the very beginning. Your core should be about choosing from an authentic place and not just from a place of fanfare and from a place of idealism, who you think should be right for you. No, you are not choosing who you think should be right for you. You are thinking who will and who must be right for you. And it is beyond the bank account and beyond the position the person is holding externally, and more about what the person can handle internally. A lot of times these people are hidden in disguise and they are not advertised out there. So you have to be discerning, you have to be deeply connected, and you have to leave the emotion-led relationship model and use the spirited systems and structure-led emotions model. Spirited systems and structure-led relationship model, not emotions model, but relationship model, to be able to make the right choices. I'm SAGENEL, and I thank you so much for being a part of my video today. You can check the links in the description to see fantastic resources that I have for you. I'll see you in my next video, but you can see me on previous videos that I've missed. Feel free to share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.